Hello, I'm Mark Pikert, editor-in-chief of The Gay Goods, and you are tuned in to today's episode of The Gay Goodies with a very special guest, Mr. Dillon Diaz. I had a moment where I almost said Jake Gyllenhaal for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe one day. Who could say? But in the meantime, Dillon Diaz is not a bad choice if you cannot get Jake Gyllenhaal. Let me tell you. We're going to talk about his career. We're going to talk about his recent Grabby Award nomination. We're going to talk about the gentleman in his life. It's not me, and it's not Jake Gyllenhaal, but close. And we're going to talk about it all. So let's bring him on now so I can stop talking about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Hey, hi. I am actually a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal, so if that's any indication, then good.
I mean, who isn't a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal? He is a character actor who has been
Yeah,
trapped in the body of a movie star.
yeah.
Let him
I think he's,
act.
and I think he's really underrated too. I think people need to give him a little bit more love and attention than they do. You know?
They do. And stop talking about just his body. His body be banging, okay?
Absolutely. Agreed.
But his talent be banging too.
Hmm.
And speaking of having a talent for banging, congratulations on your recent Grabby Award nomination.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited. And it's always good to be recognized with the crew. I'm like, oh, they know my name. Yay.
I mean, the Grabby nominations this year are so wild to me because it's the 2019 nominees and the 2020 nominees. So
Yeah.
to get a nomination means that you really brought in the fan votes,
Yeah.
which makes it kind of even more exciting.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I have to just be satisfied with the nomination because it's I feel like it's going to be new. I feel honestly I feel like Susan Lucci of gay porn. I've gotten
Uh-huh.
nomination
Yeah.
upon nomination upon nomination and never an award. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it's just glad to be with the rest noticed with the rest of the guys.
You know what? That's perfect. I mean, Susan Lucci was never going to win until she made it into a narrative. And now that you have articulated it, we can start pushing forward the Dillon Diaz as Susan Lucci of gay porn narrative, and everyone will know your name, and everyone will vote for you. I love
Yes,
it.
let's work whatever angle that we can work. Let's work it.
And I have to say, you are someone that I really enjoy on social media because, one, obviously, you're an extremely attractive gentleman. Two, you're also just very funny and very charming. And it is something that not everyone in the industry is capable of pulling off on social media, but you do with flying colors. And it's very fun to engage with you.
Yeah, I think once I'm on social media, I'm more myself than I am Dylan. Like when I'm on camera, Dylan takes over and it's a different being. But when I'm doing interviews or I'm on my own social media, there's more of me coming through.
I've talked to so many guys in porn now who will do one of these with me or will just be on the phone and they'll say, I don't know, like I was having a lot of fun and I kind of stopped being the character. Is it gonna are people gonna be turned off by that? And I always say no. If anything, they want someone who's going to be super dom during sex and then a weird goofball not having sex.
Right.
You've got the range, use it.
I'm trying. Doing my best. One of my favorite parts of the job has become the acting part, the dialogue, getting from point A to point B, presenting a story. That has become fun to me. And I would never have considered myself an actor, never wanted to be an actor, but I love that part of the job. I do.
Is that something that you try to bring to your Just for Fans content as well?
Well, honestly, no. I haven't really focused on my Just for Fans content as much as I would like to. That's something that's going to be changing. I'm going to do more and more of that. Um, I mean, no. So my most popular Just for Fans content is when I'm like basically go-go dancing in my living room, smiling and having a good time. And that's been the most popular. The sex stuff, everyone loves to see sex too. But I mean, I feel like the ones that I get the most comments on, the most feedback on, are when I'm dancing around the living room. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a sign that I need to just be more of myself and leave the character for studio porn, studio shows, productions.
I mean, yeah, it's all about authenticity, you know?
Yeah, yeah. People want to see the
You
real
have to be
thing.
approachable.
Yeah,
They
yeah, for
do.
sure, for sure.
So, Dylan, this is your first time on the Gay Goodies, but I feel like you have a history with the Gay Goodies
Hmm. A little bit of a history with the
that
gay goodies, yes.
that I still do not know the full story of, and I have been patiently waiting until you were here with me to find out how Jake Waters on the Gay Goodies led to who, by the way, said specifically, I'm not dating, I'm not even looking to date. This is my time. I'm focusing on my career, not
Hmm.
interested. And then all of a sudden on Instagram, he's like, I'm in love. I'm so happy. I'm a girl in love. I'm like, bitch, I just got an exclusive that you're not looking to date.
Well, I saw that interview, and since I like a challenge, I was like, hello.
No.
No, I mean, actually, we met on set in 2019. We were doing a scene for Normail, directed by Shishi LaRue. It was called Healing
Yeah.
Touch. I was playing his doctor. That was one of his first studio scenes. I met him on set. There was an instant attraction. There was an instant chemistry there, but we didn't really act on it for a few reasons. He lived in a different place. I'm on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. He's on the East.
Yeah.
He was a new performer. Didn't know if he was gonna come back. I think some folks try it and then they run. So I was like, and then I wasn't even sure if I wanted to talk to someone who's in the industry. I wasn't sure if that would be a good idea. Um, but then months later, over I guess over a year, and we kept it. We followed each other on social media. We kept in touch every now and then. We followed each other's careers. We knew what we were doing. Um, he forwarded me a link to an interview that he had done with you, and I watched the interview. I was like, why did he send that? I was like, oh, there's no reason why he shouldn't have sent it. So let me just sit and watch. And I just watched it. I was like, oh, this is fun. And then the more I watched it, I was like, oh my God, I like him even more. Like the way he's answering these questions, the way he's, handling himself, his perspective, everything that was coming through was like hitting buttons on me. So after watching that interview, I sent him a text. Oh, one of the things that he mentioned in the interview was that he was newly single, and so that kind of set up the
Yes.
light bulb went off at that point. I was like, bing, 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 bing. Um, so I sent him a text message and I said, hey, I just saw your interview. That was really great. Thanks for sharing it. Maybe next time you're on the West Coast, I'll have my chance to take you out to dinner now that you're single again. Um, and that turned into lots of text messages and lots of phone calls. And now we're basically a couple.
I, first of all, if I knew that that's how it worked, I would be sending these to Jake Gyllenhaal every goddamn day.
You should do it. Try it. Try it.
Jake Gyllenhaal, I'm not newly single, but I could be if you text me. Give me the word, Jake. Give me the word. Uh, well, you should know that Jake Waters and I absolutely planned out that entire interview with the sole purpose of luring you into a relationship. Carefully scripted.
Good job. You succeeded.
You know what? This is the highest compliment that I could get. I've tricked you into being with Jake Waters, so he and I have succeeded. But I mean, is it because in that interview, Jake talked a lot about how difficult it is to be in a relationship with someone who's not in the industry. Is it easier to be with someone who kind of understands that it's not necessarily as sexy as people assume it is, and that there's a lot more that goes into it than just like, yeah, let's get off.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's a lot of people. I mean, there aren't many people who can relate or who can understand what it's like and can understand that it's just sex. It's a performance of sex and it's not real. We're not falling in love with our scene partners. We're not like, I mean, a lot of us are friends and we hang out and we talk, but we're not falling in love with every single scene partner that we work with. And it's hard to watch someone that you care about having sex with other people on camera. So I get that. But for us, since we both do it, we have that understanding of what it is. And we know that well, not necessarily, that it doesn't take away from your personal relationships, you know? Um,
Yeah, of course.
and a lot of people just have a hard time accepting that, and understandably so. I get it.
How long have you been in the porn industry, Susan Lucci?
I've been 3 years. Well, no, actually, I think it's a little bit over 3 years. I'm going on 4 soon-ish. I guess, wait, it's getting closer to 4. Yeah,
So
in
what
September.
what was the moment that led you to take the step from going, oh, I like porn. Porn would be fun to do, to actually doing it?
It was really not planned at all. It was kind of just a progression of events. Um, I'm a career changer. Like if I get once I'll completely dedicate myself to something, and then when I get bored of doing it, I'll just find something else that I'm interested in doing, and then start doing that. So I was in between jobs in New York, and I decided to try go-go dancing. A friend of mine used to go-go dance, and he wanted to get back into it. And because I used to be a makeup artist, I knew a lot of drag performers, and so I would ask my drag performer friends if they knew places where my friend could, apply as a go-go dancer. So I sent him all of those connections, and I decided, well, why don't I try? I gave it a try, and I actually liked it, which was shocking because I'm a homebody. I'm shy. I don't like staying out late. I don't like crowds, and so I thought this is not going to be good, but I'll try it. I liked it.
Where did you go dance?
All over New York, all over New York, all over the East Coast. I was at the Monster a lot, the Hangar, all over the
Oh,
bars
the
in New York.
Hangar.
The Hangar.
Oh, you're taking me back.
I went to the Eagle once, which was interesting. They didn't need dancers at the Eagle. There was more going on the floor at the Eagle. They didn't need a dancer at the
Yo.
Eagle. I was getting a show at the Eagle.
You had a better viewpoint too up on that box.
Absolutely. I was like, wow, great. But so that led to porn. Once you're in that world, you start to meet a lot of the performers. They're also making the rounds, doing guest spots, and you get to meet them and interact
Yeah.
with them. And it's like, oh my gosh, he's really cool, and he's normal, and he seems happy and sane. And it kind of opened my mind to the idea of trying porn too. I said, well, I know how to have sex. I don't know. I've never really done it on camera, but I know how to have sex. So I tried it. Oh, I'll tell you. Okay, so my first, I was booked in, what was the name of the club? In Fire Island. Oh God, I forget the
Blue
name of the
Whale.
bar. No, in Cherry
Sip and Troll.
Pine.
Oh.
Sip and Troll.
Cher-
Okay, I was
Cherry.
booked there.
No.
Oh, I'm gonna be mad because I can't remember the name. But anyway, I was booked there to go dance, and at the same time, they were also going to be doing a live show. Mark McNamara, who I was directing for Men at the time, was doing a live show. But on Fire Island, if you miss the ferry, they have limited ferries that get you to the island. If you miss the ferry, you're out of luck. There's no other way to get there. So one of his performers missed the ferry, and he was one guy short. And so I volunteered to do the live show that night. And then that led to doing a recorded studio scene for him for men.com. And that went really well. And then I got in touch with Shishi LaRue, and she booked me. She brought me out to LA to do 2 scenes. That weekend, I ended up shooting 4 scenes. And instead of going home at the end of it, I flew with her to Las Vegas to shoot another scene for Falcon. So at that point, all right, I'm in. I'm good. I can do this. This is fun. I like it. Everyone's like so much nicer than I expected, and
Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah.
Now, how did you get that guy to miss the ferry? Did you kneecap him? Did you have him kidnapped?
Actually, he made it to the island, and I locked him in the closet.
I mean, you do what you got to do, because that guy now is looking at you going, I should be the Susan Lucci of gay porn. That's my career.
It's a competitive industry, No.
And I mean, you immediately liked it. There was never any like hesitancy about going in full throttle.
No, okay. See, at that point, I was a little bit older. I started
Right.
go-go dancing around, I think, 38, and then by the time I started porn, I was 40. So I was a little bit older, and I think that helped me out a lot. Like I had a different perspective going into it, and for me, I wasn't. I actually learned a lot about myself through the process. Like I learned that I like an audience, that I like, I like for people to watch me, and I felt this was like the perfect opportunity for someone who likes to be watched. you know?
Yeah. It's also so different being in your late 30s and doing something new where you're at a time in your life where you are not defining yourself by your job in the
Mhm.
way that um, hyper competitive, ambitious people do in their 20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of a sudden, in your late 30s, you're like, oh, wait, I can work from 9 to 5 and then go and have a life. I can put my phone down on weekends and not answer email on Saturdays and Sundays. What? Life is so much better.
You know what's funny? Like I had just the opposite with the 9 to 5 life. I felt trapped in it when I was doing the 9 to 5 life. I was like, is there anything else? Is this what life is going to be like for the rest of my life? Like clocking in at 9, clocking out at 5, and basically running home to go to sleep because I'm tired. Like, is there anything more? And then I found like freelancing was more for me, like jumping from project to project, and meeting
Well,
different
and
folks.
let's be very clear. My version of a 9 to 5 is this job.
Oh, that's
So
different. I feel like you still have a lot of fun and a lot of freedom with this. I was like
yes,
sitting in a cubicle for 40 plus hours a week. That's a different story.
no, I did that. That was miserable. Don't do that, guys. Come work for
Yeah,
me. Come write for me.
yeah. If you can help it, don't do that. Figure out your own career, like your own. Hey, my friend's dog just came in. Figure out your own
Of course.
path and go for it. Yeah.
So you mentioned that when you started doing porn, you realized that you like an audience. Were there any other like fetishes or kinks that you realized that you were into just being exposed to more doing porn?
I found that I was very willing to explore my sexuality, more willing than I had ever been before. I don't necessarily know if there are specific kinks that I have other than like being seen, other than having an audience. Um, but I tried them all. If the opportunity is presented, I'll try them all. And oftentimes I'll do it again. If the experience went well and I enjoyed it, I'll do it again. Um, so it's been a great time to explore my sexuality. It's been really good for that.
How did you handle the shutdown last year when you weren't necessarily focusing on just for fans content? What were you doing?
I was at home panicking, comfort
Uh-huh.
eating, and binge watching. What is that show? Really popular show, The Walking Dead. They had like a million and
Oh,
one episodes, so that
yeah.
pretty much got me through most of the lockdown.
Hmm.
And then I was thinking about the Game of Thrones because that's another one, but I think I'm gonna have to wait for the next pandemic for that one. That's just too many episodes, too many.
Yeah, and you're okay. I've never seen Game of Thrones, and I never
Yeah.
saw Tiger King either. I'm okay with
Uh,
that.
I saw a couple of episodes with that, and I couldn't understand the appeal. At the
So, no, never mind. I was going to do a whole thing about what I think Tiger King is actually about, but we don't have to go into that. We can do that offline. This is your time. Um, so, I mean, you were talking about being a career changer. Do you see yourself staying in porn for a couple more years?
Oh yeah, I am really loving this. I'm enjoying. I definitely want to continue performing for as long as I can until they basically say stop, until the bookings for that stop coming in. But in the meantime, I'm also getting my feet wet with writing and directing, and learning some of the jobs that have to be done behind the camera as well, so I can transition into doing stuff like that later on. Um,
What is it like
so
to be a performer who switches to directing? Because you just directed your first scene, didn't you?
I did. I co-directed the scene for Noir Mail, and I've written a few more. And it was interesting I mean, I've always had a healthy respect for the directors, the producers, and all of the people that work behind the camera. But now it's even healthier. I understand what they go through. I have a better understanding of what they go through to make a movie happen. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. My favorite part was like working with the actors, and their lines and saying, okay, now deliver it like this, or smile a little bit more, or be a little bit quiet. That stuff was fun for me because I'm a performer, and so being able to do that was a lot of fun. But that's like such a small part of the job. There's so much more to it. Um, but I think that when you've worked in front of the camera and you've been on set with these folks, you understand a little bit about what has to be done to make it all
Yeah.
happen. So it's kind of like I feel like it's a natural progression, to go from performing to writing, directing, producing. I mean, any number of things. You can do any number of things. Um, but yeah, I would definitely like to stay in the industry for a very long time.
Well, now that you've directed, I imagine you on set you're just going for extra credit, sucking up to the directors by being like, "Oh, you know that thing that's really annoying that actors don't know that you do? I totally know that you do that, and I've already taken care of it."
Uh-huh. Yeah, I am very proactive on set. Like I see a problem and I'm like ready to help fix it. Um, yeah. And I always come prepared. Like I'm the most prepared. I feel like in some ways I feel like I'm the daddy of the group. Make sure that everybody has what they need to do their job and then driving them home
Uh,
afterwards.
I've always joked. It's not really a joke. It's just something that I say in a funny voice. On Father's Day every year, I get the same amount of texts from former employees
Uh-huh.
saying Happy
Oh,
Father's Day, and
oh.
former guys that I've hooked up with saying like Happy Daddy's Day. It's a balance.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just naturally part of who you are. You can't fight it.
Yeah. I mean, you know how it is. You get to a certain age and you have a resonant voice, and people are just like, "Hey, Daddy," and I'm like, "Sure."
But it did, I mean, did you experience this too? It took a while to accept that. I feel like people kind of recognized that in me before I recognized it in me and kind of pushed me in that direction. And I was like, I don't know if I can handle this. But it started to get comfortable.
I was always okay with it because when I was 20, people thought I was 30.
Okay. But, oh,
So I always looked older anyway, and
okay.
then they're like, "Oh, you're just like a really old seasoned twink." And I'm like, "I'm 20."
How old are you? You don't look, how old are you? No, if you don't mind
Oh,
me asking.
no, no, I'm not. I'm 37. I'm not 20 anymore.
You don't look
I
like
like
you're
that you got closer,
37.
like, "How old
I know,
are
I'm trying to,
you?"
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I would I don't I didn't know you at 20, but I don't think I would have mistaken you for 30 when you were 20. But maybe that's just something in you that came out. It was what was being projected.
It's the cigarettes and the booze, and then the voice, darling, the voice. 20-year-olds shouldn't sound like this. Uh, anyway, stop making me talk about me.
You see how I'm turning this around?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'm
don't
maybe I'm
like
trying to
it.
maybe I'm trying to get my own show. Jake likes host his show from his bed, so maybe I'm trying to do one from this balcony in LA.
Honestly, one of the things that I really want to do, and I'm going to say this so everyone holds me accountable, is I want to create a gay porn version of The View where you have a bunch of different big personalities that can still be civil to one another even when they disagree, but
Hmm.
will disagree, talking about all the stuff that goes on in gay porn world and like just in the world of being a sex worker in the United States and navigating
Yeah.
Instagram and
Yeah.
what Instagram has decided is no longer allowed.
Oh
But yeah,
dear.
I definitely that's something that I really want to do.
I think that's a great idea. I would watch that. I would actually audition for that.
Yeah, you would. I would make you audition for that. And speaking of social media, I have to ask you, why can I not find your Amazon wish list?
I don't know how to set one up. I don't know how to set one up. I am not tech savvy, so I need someone to help. Okay, so I feel like I have one on my real name and my real address for my friends and family, but I don't want to make that available to the public. I have to have some privacy. So I don't know how to set
Oh,
up. put it under my stage name and have it shipped to my. I rent a mailbox, so have it. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do it.
I'll set you up after this. I'll take care of
Okay,
it.
thank you. I'd appreciate
Yeah,
that.
of course. I mean, look, you got to get that protein powder. You have to get it shipped for free. It's important.
Yes, yes. I need lots of socks. And then you know what I've been trying to find lately? I have not been able to find this. Like a good, comfortable everyday underwear. Not the sexy ones for, go-go dancing. Just good everyday underwear that still don't look like grandpa, but they feel comfortable. You know?
I'm a big fan of CN2.
Okay. Okay.
The Gay Goodies, sponsored by CN2.
Let's make it happen.
What is your go-to sexy underwear for go-go dancing, though?
I like a jock strap. I like, I figure you might as well highlight some of your best assets, and people like my butt, so I like a jock strap. But in some states, you're not allowed to have your butt out, so I'll wear like a G-string under the jock strap, so that way, technically, my anus is covered, but everything else isn't. The things
And
we
that's
do.
something that we would get into. That's
Yes,
something that we would get into on the Gay View.
yes, tricks of the trade.
Oh, that'll be your segment, Tricks of the Trade.
I'm all for it.
It's all coming together. I'm delighted by this. Much like when Jake and I plotted to snare you. Now you and I are plotting to snare America.
Let's do it. I'm ready. Let's take it over.
Yeah. It's time. It's time. It needs us.
They do need us.
Okay, we are running out of time, so I'm going to ask you my final question, which is: when you were growing up, what celebrities did you jerk off to?
Oh, this is a bad one so I was a kid when I was jerking off to this guy because he was also a kid, but I was a kid myself, so it's okay.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
I were older, it would be a problem. But I had such a crush on the little boy from Who's the Boss? Remember Who's the Boss?
Yes, he's a homosexual.
Well, yes, he is.
Yeah.
I did. Oh, him and Tevin Campbell. I guess I had gaydar, but I didn't even realize that I had gaydar. But I really liked that. I can't remember his name now, but I thought he was so cute. I wanted hair like his.
Danny Pintaro?
Yeah. I
Yeah, Danny
wanted hair
Pintaro.
like his
Yeah.
so badly, and my hair didn't do that. I'm Puerto Rican, so my hair is curly. When it gets long, it doesn't do that. It does this.
But you just wanted to get your fingers in that hair.
I just had such a thing for him. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's also I like that you were jerking off to him and not Tony Danza.
Yeah, no, he didn't do it for me. He's a beautiful man too, but he didn't do it for me.
Angela.
There might have been more, like when it's Johnny Depp from 21 Jump Street during that period of time. I think I liked the boy bands look. I had a thing for the boy bands look during that period.
Yeah, you just wanted some floppy hair. You just wanted to play with some hair.
Yeah. What was that other group? There was a group.
Stroke hair. New Kids on the Block?
No, they were. I can see them, but I can't remember. But there was another group. They all had beautiful hair. I think I had a thing for hair. Maybe I was attracted to their hair.
You know what? And that is why so many people in the industry refer to this as therapy hour, because we're always uncovering things. We're always getting to the bottom of some childhood trauma.
Yeah. I have a hair fetish. That's one of my fetishes. I have a fetish for hair.
There you go. So add some wigs to your Amazon wish list, or have Jake add some to his.
Along with his dog food.
Oh my God. Goddamn dog food. I was deeply upset to see it was just Rachel Ray's Nutrish on his wish list. We're going to do a better job of yours. I promise you that. It won't be hard, but we're going to do it. All right, Dillon Diaz, that is all the time that we have. Thank you so much for joining me today. You were as delightful as I was told to expect. I'm sad that I didn't get to see you turn a maxi towel skirt into a mini towel skirt, but I do have the video on Twitter, so I can always go back and replay it.
I was going to tell you I could forward you the link.
You really need to pin that tweet just so everyone has a chance to see it. I'll explain how to do that too. Thank you so much. This was a delight.
Thank you.
Thank all of you for tuning in, and tune in next Monday for another special installment of The Gay Goodies. Goodbye.